Okay, welcome everybody to the ASCP Our Experience podcast. My name's Chad Wers. I'm the chief executive for ASCP alongside my partner who is not here in the studio, Tom Hansel of Hansel Health, who is somewhere warm, but he's hiding it with his happy birthday background.
I'm in birthday world.
There you go. And it is ASCP's birthday this week, so we are having a special episode. One of the things I think that was really impactful when I got here to ASCP 8 years ago was the fact that we had such great people, and really investing in people to make ASCP better was part of what I tried to do when I got here. So we're going to go through a litany of people today that have been here for a number of years, most of them over 10 years. And it reminds me, in my prior job when I worked at the pharmacy, I would set up these field trips where I would take my team to different businesses that I thought did a really good job with customer service. And one of them was the Louisville Slugger Bat Museum in Louisville, Kentucky, where they make baseball bats. And one of the things at the end of the tour that was really impactful was they had this board, and they had pictures of all their employees, and they had lines of like, this person's been here 10 years, 15 years, 25 years. And virtually everybody that worked there, probably 30 people, had worked there for at least 15 years, and a number of them for more than 25 years. And it's just profound when you think about a business that has people that have stuck around that long and have been part of an organization for that long. So that is going to be the theme of the day. To give everybody background, ASCP is 55 years old this week. We started in 1969. I think we were incorporated originally in the state of Massachusetts. But it started as a result of pharmacists that were starting to be quote unquote consulted, probably community pharmacists from nursing homes that were just coming on board with the passage of the Social Security Act, and they needed help with pharmacy. They had 100 people in their building, and they had an amber vial for each medication that those 100 people were on. So they probably had 1,000 amber vials that they were trying to deal with, and take it from there. Our pharmacists innovated packaging and storage handling of medications, and eventually got into the business of working with the number of medications each individual had, and said, 8, 10, 12 medications is a lot. How do we make decisions and help doctors make decisions so that people are on the least amount of medications that they need? So that's the history of ASCP. We are joined in the studio by Jess. Jess has, welcome to the show, Jess.
Thank you.
Jess is our longest tenured employee at ASCP. How many years do you want to say?
I've been here 33 years plus, and yeah, longest.
33 years. It's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
So Jess started when she was 12.
That's
apparently.
right. So you've seen a lot. So obviously we're in a location today that we came to about 7 years ago. Before that, we had a building on Duke Street. Is that where you started, or you started a building before that?
I started at the building in Arlington,
Okay.
Virginia, and then we moved to Duke Street.
Okay, so she started even in a location, and there was one more location before Arlington, I think. At least I heard in deep thoughts that there was a building in D.C. I don't know if that was before.
I don't remember.
So, Jess, I'm gonna let Tom ask some questions too. But like, what is your favorite experience as an employee at ASCP in all of those 33 years?
I think my favorite experience so far is help working with speakers and reading their materials sometimes, and I've learned a lot because I graduated as a teacher in my country, but I didn't get to practice. So doing what I'm doing now, it's helping me.
That's awesome. So you were a teacher. Which country?
Philippines.
Philippines, and Yeah, because you work in our education department. You're responsible for handling all of our educators, our speakers, our teachers, and making sure they get their letters of agreement and get their ducks in a row for their presentations. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I also started when ASCP staff was almost 50 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and during that time, drug companies have a lot of money to offer the ASCP, and yeah,
Back in the heyday
yes,
of where pharmaceutical company money probably was flowing pretty
yeah. I
well.
remember doing satellite symposia, and for about 20 plus, and we were turning down other applications because we had too many.
Too many.
And then we were down to 2 and 1 and nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's awesome. What else can you say? What else about ASCP in those 33 years do you find? What kept you here so long?
It's the flexibility. I don't know if I can go to other place, maybe, but if you call in and said I'm gonna take the morning off and I will make up my time in the afternoon, and I thought that was the best thing so far, because if you're gonna run out of PDOs and you get a chance to make up your time, that's yeah, that's very valuable.
That's awesome. Tom, what do you think?
So Jess, that's 33 annual conferences.
Oh, wow.
A lot of keynote speakers.
Wow.
Tell me,
Yes.
what was one of your favorite or most memorable keynote speakers?
That was Dr. Ruth in Philadelphia.
Dr. Ruth. Philadelphia was a
I'm sure
famous
she was very
annual meeting,
memorable.
apparently for a
I missed
number of
that one.
reasons. That's awesome.
Must be-
I didn't know that was our keynote speaker in Philadelphia.
Yes.
I've heard
It
that
was-
she's quite funny and
Yeah. she was-
engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was my first annual meeting. It was the first annual meeting that I attended, I think.
In Philadelphia?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how many times it's been in Philadelphia, but I did attend one in Philadelphia. It might have been my first one that I ever attended either.
Correction, it's my second. That's what Patty said.
Oh, okay. You got some help from another ASCP historian. All right. Well, awesome, Jess. Thank you for your 33 years of employment at ASCP. You are unbelievable, and we are so proud that you've stayed here this long and for all the work that you do with our speakers today, just like you did 33 years ago.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. We're back with our next guest, Nee, who is in our accounting department. Nee, welcome.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to ASCP.
Yeah, happy birthday to ASCP.
All right. So how long have you been with ASCP?
28 years.
28 years.
Yes, I can't
Unbelievable. That's crazy.
I'm flying.
That's awesome. So did you start in the Arlington building too, or did you start in the Duke Street?
Duke Street.
Okay, so
yeah.
you were in the Duke Street
Yeah,
building.
Duke Street building.
Okay. And what can you say over your 28 years was your favorite moment?
Oh, there's so many favorite moments, of course, you know. There are a lot. I can't say it all. But one thing the reason I stayed with ASCP so long, I think because I like the culture here at ASCP, all the staff, all the people, all the good leader, colleague. Yeah, I learned so much during my 28 year at ASCP. I started out with accounting clerk. Back then,
Yeah.
I was in school, and then I slowly move up. I feel like I have learned a lot, and I appreciate it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, so when you started, how many people also worked at ASCP?
There were quite a bit at that time. The accounting department, we had, I think, 4 people at that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I start out at part-time, half day every day, come to work after school.
Okay.
And then, yeah. At one point, we have 4 or 5 at least. And then now we have 2.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, you've learned so much that you've eliminated everybody else, and it's just you and Chuck. Well, we've learned a lot from you, too, so we appreciate
Thank
what
you.
you've done here. Tom?
Yeah, do you have a most memorable moment, did you say?
Memorable.
Using some bandwidth here.
Can't think on top of my head right now.
Well, I'll start asking you. I'll ask you about TV characters. We're going to start asking some bosses questions. So, if you look at your boss, can you think of a TV character that you could relate mostly to your boss? Someone on TV.
Oh, boss. Speaking of boss, I can say something about. I love for the past 28 years, I have at least 4 or 5 bosses, and they all like awesome. I love them all. Again, that's the reason why I stay here so long. You know, that I feel like I can rely them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you're the bridge.
Do you think Chad would be in
between
the
those
top
bosses.
5?
I'm sorry.
I said, you think Chad would be in the top 5 then?
I'm not her boss. Chuck is her boss.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Chad, of course, is in it. Yeah. And Chuck, of course, is a good boss, and many more.
Well, and you had to be the bridge between some of those bosses because it's been just you for a few, at least before Chuck, it was Kelly. Before Kelly, it was Tom.
I would say I love them all, but I love my current boss, Chuck, and then my previous one, Varus Design, and then we have one more between Varus and Doug. He was only here for a very short time. He was very nice in Tom, so I forgot the last name. And then before that was Douglas McAdoo. He's the one who hired me. So
all right, we have him to thank.
Thank you for him. We're still in touch actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, once a while we still in touch.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Tom, you gonna ask the convention question, annual meeting question? You didn't go to every annual meeting.
No, I only go to the when we hold it at ASCP.
Oh, in National Harbor.
National Harbor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite one then?
Yeah, I usually don't travel.
Okay, awesome.
Aye.
Tom, any last questions for Nee?
No, thank you for all your years and years of support. And I know that a lot of the members, you're behind the scenes. A lot of members don't know what it takes to get us where we have to be every year. But I appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you.
Well, I know the employees appreciate you because we wouldn't get our paycheck if it wasn't for Nee. So I know everybody appreciates that.
Yeah, my work is kind of like the back end stuff.
All right. Well, thanks, Nee.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're back with Patty. Patty, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm surprised we've never had you on the show before. We're in year 3. Like, we should have had our employees on the show way more often than we have. How long have you been with ASCP?
It will be 28 years in July.
So you're almost tied with Nee.
Almost tied.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. It's a long time. So tell us what you're like. Give us a synopsis of 28 years. Like, what's your favorite time, moment, person other than me?
Oh, that's going to be hard. You're just the best.
It's a lot of sarcasm.
There's been a lot of great people that have come through and learned a lot from different bosses and other people that have been here. Tim Webster was, when I started, he was a great guy, and I've seen lots of changes, good and bad, but I think overall the organization is a strong organization. The people that work here are great to work with. I have friends that I've made and that I still keep in touch with, even though they no longer work for the association. So it's just great.
I'm glad you brought up Tim Webster because he was sort of the transformative, I think, executive for ASCP. I mean, he really brought it into prominence. Some of that's probably tied to the fact that the industry was maturing around his time, but he did so much for ASCP. And, when he lost his life and tragically, ASCP kind of moved with him kind of suffered as a result. So I'm glad you brought him up, because I know a lot of our members remember those days that Tim Webster was in charge, and it was also when we had all the money flowing from the pharmaceutical
Yes.
companies. It was a good time for ASCP. And
It was a great time.
we're struggling, not struggling, we're trying to get back to that. But certainly if there was a executive from the past that really, embodies ASCP, it was probably Tim.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, Patty, what benefit do you think that ASCP brings our industry, probably better than anyone else? If you could name at least one, maybe two.
Being the experts in their field and allowing us to help them grow with their opportunities in the industry. So,
Now, what's your
Excellent.
favorite annual meeting of all time?
they've all had their own specialness.
There has to be a story in there somewhere.
Well, my first meeting with ASCP was in Philadelphia. It was quite the meeting. It was being new to working at meetings. I locked myself out of one of the sessions I was moderating, so that was fun.
Experience.
We also had quite the party in the presidential suite.
Who was the president at the time of the Philadelphia meeting?
Ralph.
Ralph. Naturally.
So,
Ralph Calise.
Yes.
Who's still with us today at our
Yeah.
meetings, hosting a suite.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's interesting. I didn't know that he was the president for that meeting. Wasn't there a big fight at that meeting?
There was a reception sponsored, and evidently the police came. I missed
Oh,
that
man.
part of it, but I heard all about it. So
I mean, you think our parties are
Rowdy
fun now.
pharmacist, man.
It's
Can't
not a
take them
party if the
anywhere.
police don't come.
Yeah, how about it?
it was a good time.
I bet. Well, Patty has a lot of our staff. We do a lot of potlucks, and a lot of our staff is very talented in the food that they bring. Patty, has a special place in my heart. Pretty recently, I'm sure you've made the shortbread all your life, but she brings in shortbread kind of like Ted Lasso, and it's very
Nice.
it's very special when she brings that in. It reminds me of Ted Lasso, so that's a cool thing.
It's all butter and sugar, the best.
So you got to make it with love and passion.
That
and
too.
That's generally, yeah. That's
And
one of the
make
best
sure you get the
things.
right recipe from your mother.
And what do you tell everybody what you do?
So I work in the communications and marketing department. I handle all the creative. I work on the journal, making sure that it gets out on time and looks nice. So pretty much anything that has a look and feel for ASCP, it goes by me.
It's awesome.
Like our logo.
That's right.
Yep.
We look good because of Patty. Our stuff looks good because of Patty. Patty couldn't do anything with Tom, but
No,
that's
there's no help for me.
outside of her ability. Any last questions, Tom?
Patty, are you a Starbucks drinker? Do you like Starbucks and coffee?
I do like Starbucks. It's all right. I'd like to go to more of the local coffee shops. Misha's is a good one here.
So there's all those different coffee flavors now. Again, that didn't probably exist when you first started ASCP, but if you could assign Chad a coffee as CEO, like what coffee would you relate to him? Is it going to be more like the double frap latte, high maintenance, like all this stuff into it? Or is he just a basic Americano or somewhere in between?
I would say somewhere in between. I don't think Chad's very high maintenance.
I'm a basic Americano. I like that. All right. Well, Patty, thanks for being on.
Thank
and
you.
Thanks for your 28 years of service to ASCP and its members.
Thank you very
We
much.
wouldn't
For
be
sure.
here without you.
Thank you.
Great. Happy birthday.
All right. We are back with Alex. Alex, welcome to the birthday show.
Thanks for having me.
All right. How long have you been here?
I've been with ASCP 13 years.
Alex reminds me of like the ASCP Swiss Army knife, because ultimately, what were you hired to do?
Network manager.
He's hired as a network manager. Alex has built furniture. Alex handles all of the internal maintenance to our space and building. He set up the studio that we're in.
I'm usually on the other side of the camera.
Yes. But he's done a lot for ASCP. So what's your favorite moment in the last 13 years? Is this it?
No.
Getting to be on the podcast in front of the camera?
It's not,
I was
unfortunately. You know, there's been a lot of great moments over the years. Putting my finger on one of them is really difficult. I mean, without being specific, just like going to all of our meetings, each one of them is very special. Getting to see our members network with one another, being able to do the production that enables everybody to connect well, really is exciting and challenging. So
Yeah, I think it's not like obvious, I'm sure, to the outside, but we have 23 people here. Almost all of them attend annual meeting. It's the one time I feel like our membership gets to engage with all of our staff and the people that work here at ASCP. So I value it for that. Sometimes they're seeing our staff operate and work in a different capacity, which can be challenging at times. But it's always fun to have everybody there and to get to see behind the camera, behind the scenes, who works at ASCP, how it works, because usually members are only engaged with staff members if they happen to be on a committee with them, or they're dialoguing them with some piece of content or something else that we're working on. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. I mean, I tell you, I've got to see behind the scenes a lot and all the work that goes in. Annual conference doesn't happen in 2 weeks. It takes, months and months and months of preparation time, but all the effort. And then, obviously on the podcast that we've added here to your plate. And so, I got a good chance to get behind the scenes view on a regular basis. So I know the effort that you and team put in. So I appreciate that. My biggest question for you is, if you look and think about all the superheroes, what superhero do you think matches Chad Wurz, the CEO?
Why is it
the
always
most?
me?
superheroes.
You take your time, don't rush it, because this is very important. But out of all the superheroes, it could be the evil ones too, infamous heroes, maybe the ones that, work against the heroes. But
the first thing that comes to mind is Chris Pratt's character in Guardians of the Galaxy. He a lot of times is the captain of the ship, but he is heavily reliant on the rest of his team to be able to be successful. Tries not to take himself too seriously, but is very serious about what he does. So I don't know. That's my analogy.
That's a good one.
That's actually pretty good. See, I thought he was going to go
Star Wars, but I'll take it. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought he was going to go with Groot from Minions or something like that.
I've never seen that, so I couldn't draw the comparisons.
Sorry, that joke was lost on everyone.
Oh, come on! Everyone that's seen Minions, of course, knows who Groot is. But...
All right, so
no, that's a good one.
You can pick like maybe best location, best time, coolest keynote.
Best location, I think, a number of years ago was probably Seattle. Really close second is going to be last year's in Denver, just because it's a spectacular new resort. But Seattle was great a number of years ago. Great location. Walk down to the fish market. It was just a good meeting.
All right, good answer.
Time to go back. We haven't been there in a while.
Who was the president during that meeting?
Oh, goodness. Seattle.
We'll look to the audience on that one. I think I was at that meeting, but I don't remember either. That's the first time I had fried fish sticks that were made of salmon was in Seattle. It was pretty good.
Anything fried.
Anything fried. All right, so ASCP, it's 55 years old. It's moving forward. How is it adjusted? What is it adjusting to? What's it going to be when it grows up?
I mean, through my time here at ASCP, it's definitely gone through many subtle shifts, especially with leadership. I've seen the shifts there. I think we're going to continue down the path that we're on now, just being the best at providing the education and resources needed for, older adult care in the pharmacy world.
Any last questions, Tom, for Alex?
No, not at all. Just, again, I've seen all the hard work that goes into it, and I appreciate what you do.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think the last thing I would say is I was a speaker for a long time. Was fortunate to start speaking when I got out of school in 1998, actually, and did big productions in big 1,000-doctor arenas. And you became quickly reliant on the team that puts all of it together. Because when you go on stage, if you don't sound right, if the production isn't clean, then it basically becomes a reflection on you. And I just want to reiterate that we have that here, and we have that because of you. So thank you for that. And I hope the other speakers and the people that have to do the things in front of the camera realize what it takes to do it well behind from an operations standpoint. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, we are back with Kavan, the anchor to our birthday show today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How long have you been here at ASCP?
Going on 8 years.
8 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to tell the story of Kavan from my perspective because I got here 7 years ago.
Yes.
So my first meeting, I think, as new executive was Mid-Atlantic, and I think it was at the airport in Baltimore, I think.
Yep.
And you're trying to get your hands around this organization, obviously at a time when it needed to work on its branding, its customer service, and making sure that people valued what ASCP was. And we went up to the meeting, and I remember going up to the meeting, and we had one of those. I'm going to remember it the way I remember it, but you're going to, we had a table, a display table where we had all of our ASCP stuff, and we had one of those like boards that you could lift out of the, I don't know what they call it.
Like a signage.
Yeah, like a sign.
Like a lift up. Mm-hmm.
And I might not remember this right, but whatever it was, we're already up there. It's about an hour from here. It's far, and we forgot stuff.
It was that we forgot. It was
so
the
was
actual
right.
board
We
and a
forgot
few
the
other
sign.
things that was supposed to be for the table. So our table was pretty empty then, but someone.
So we all
had to
came
go.
up on, I won't get the dates right, but maybe on Thursday or Friday, and we all recognized that we forgot stuff that we needed. And we were all kind of like, I was trying to be the good new boss, like, don't worry about it, it's no big deal. We don't have to have everything. It's fine. And then the next morning, I come down to the lecture hall for breakfast, and our display booth has everything.
Yeah, I just had to go. Since I'm in the area, I live in Arlington, and it's not too far from the meeting place. I just went to go pick up my girls too to come to join me because they wanted to sightsee around that area, but dropped by the headquarters and picked up the supplies, and because I just can't not have the things that we're supposed to have for the meeting there, so I just wanted to get that
profound,
part.
And that's one of my favorite stories to tell people because it exemplifies the customer service that I think we do a good job of providing. And you did that on your own. Nobody said, "Hey, Kavan, you got to drive all the way back and get the stuff." You just, I get that you were going back anyway, but you made the diversion to come over to the office, get the stuff, and bring it back, and made it awesome. It was great.
Thank you. I just had to. So.
All right. So 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite moment for 8 years.
Favorite moment. I say memorable is when we had an annual meeting at National Harbor, and part of that was doing a visit at our headquarters. It was very memorable for me because our members actually came to our workspace to see where we work, how we worked, our little offices. It's not as big as the Duke Street location, but it was it was good because we had like buses that drop a group off at a time, and then my mother also cooked egg rolls to cater for the
famous egg
yeah,
rolls.
and then and I have a story behind that too. So the egg roll was such a hit. It was all gone within a certain amount of time. But I saw someone hid the egg rolls behind one of the within the office on the bookshelf, and came back for it because it was so good. And she was like, "Oh, this is mine. Let me take that." And then later
Was it
on,
a member or
it was a
staff?
member. It was a member.
it?
And then later on that night, and later on in that evening, Chad was like, "Where's the sauce? Where's the sauce for the egg roll?" It became a huge thing. But overall, the interaction, the love that all the members had to visit our headquarters was it was very memorable for me. So yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
really enjoyed it.
We're going to be back in National Harbor in 26, I think. So this year we're in San Diego, and then the following year we're in Harbor. And I do think we should rekindle that idea of having something here.
Yeah, it was a tight squeeze, but the way we had it set up, it was pretty cool. A group at a time on a bus, and then we had to someone direct them. Okay, it's time for the next shift now. So it was pretty good.
Which member hid the egg rolls?
I don't remember.
Was it Tom?
No.
It might have been. It sounds like Tom.
No, but if I would have. I think in 26 though, we need to have more egg rolls. So
Yes.
I mean, I don't think
let's prepare for
it's
that.
a gift when she brings in the egg rolls because her mom makes them, and I'd prefer that she bring them in every week, but I would probably be overweight more than I am, and we wouldn't ask her that. So they're special when they come in. That's probably why people hid them, because they're like, they're going to run out of these, and before they run out, I'm going to hide some over here. I'm surprised it wasn't me.
Now I know.
I don't remember not doing that.
Time.
It could have been me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. What was your favorite annual meeting? Other than that, that one obviously is a good story. Here.
When I first started with the company, my first annual meeting was in Kissimmee, Florida, and I came from a pharmacy at a pharmacy chain. I was a pharmacy technician, and I came in, and my first experience was traveling because I've never had to travel for work. And we had a hula or a Hawaiian party, and it was so extravagant, and I was like, wow, that is so cool. So that's still a most memorable part for me as far as annual meetings. So that was pretty cool. And then another thing, what I love the best about our annual meeting is because I do a lot of customer service with ASCP on the back end, whether they email or call, and what I love so much about annual meeting is putting the names with people that I help with faces and meeting them in person, and it just becomes it's amazing because you get to know them on a personal level because they either need help with their CEs or they have issues with their CEs or something happened, and then you end up developing good relationship, and then having actually meeting them in person is the best feeling.
Yeah, when I used to hire consultant pharmacists, I did a lot of hiring from people that came from the retail pharmacy environment, working for Kroger or one of the grocery store chains, and they always worked really hard, but they always had built-in customer service, and you have the built-in customer service. You may have had it before you worked as a technician, but you definitely have it, and it's definitely evident, and it's valuable for ASCP that you're not only great at customer service, but you also have a pharmacy background and can relate to them in a different way. That makes it more intimate, more bonding from that standpoint.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Tom.
No, I have no questions, but a lot of thank you again. You're what makes ASCP special, and the customers have needs and members have needs, and you're kind of the grease that keeps our wheels turning. So on behalf of them, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Out of our 5 guests today, we're talking about 110 years of ASCP experience, an average of 22 years each. And that's pretty strong coming from a little less than a quarter of your staff. So that's pretty awesome. So
Yep.
Thank you for what you've done.
Thank you. No, thank you for letting me be part of the family. And it's just, I love the culture here, the family atmosphere, and we do everything as a team. So I really appreciate it.
Well,
Thank you.
I will say from my perspective, thanks to all of you for making me feel part of you were the family first. And you guys are the cornerstones of our culture and ASCP. So I appreciate it from my perspective.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Chad.
All right. We are back. Had a great group of employees come through and talk about their experiences with ASCP over the years on ASCP's birthday. Tom, you have some last thoughts?
Yeah, I got some fun facts, kind of put things in perspective of how long ASCP has been helping our pharmacists across the nation. And, again, it started in 1969. And if you go back and look, 1969 was when Apollo 11 landed on the moon. That same year, Woodstock happened. And the New York Jets actually won a Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
So that's how long ago. That's how long ASCP's been at it. So
we'll get comments from our New York Jets fans.
Next year for sure, no doubt.
All right. Well, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't have Krista, our crack producer, give us some insight to her. How many years, Krista, have you been at ASCP?
It's been 6.5. In October, it will be 7 years.
Yeah, so you got there a little after I got there. What's your favorite moment?
Well, first, before I say that, 1969 was also the year that, in my opinion, one of the greatest musicians ever was born, Mr. Dave Grohl. Just so everyone knows that.
A Foo Fighters reference on our birthday.
Yeah, of course. My favorite moment, there have been many in my 6.5 years. I would say annual meetings have always been my favorite. I think I said on our 50th episode last year that I started 2 weeks before annual meeting, which was in National Harbor, which I have memories of me being there and laughing at me for printing out a schedule, which was one of my favorite moments with me. But no, I mean, that is what got me hooked to ASCP pretty much, was just the hustle and bustle of working at an annual meeting, but the bonding that kind of happens